But we are going to start off. Could today be the day that the Big Ten drops the hammer on Michigan football for sign stealing? There are only sourced reports that are floating around out there, and the football team heads out from Metro Airport this afternoon for their game at Penn State. All right, Hobie is here with me right now. Come on in here. I feel that we have a lot more questions than actually can be answered at this point. But what are we actually expecting from the Big Ten? And we're just going off reports that keep coming out of ESPN.
And I don't even know what to expect at this point, because the story has just twisted and turned throughout the last 2 weeks, especially in the last week or so. When the Big Ten got word of this, there was that reported call with Tony Petitti and the Big Ten commissioners and the Big Ten coaches on, we have to do something here. But ESPN is reporting that something could be coming out today, some sort of announcement from the Big Ten on what could be happening with Jim Harbaugh. But his attorney also said earlier today that he fully expects his client to be on a plane to take on to Pennsylvania with the team.
No matter what.
So who knows what will happen within the next 30 minutes to an hour or so as we head into the early afternoon portion of that report.
When you talk about punishment, it could be anywhere from fines, disciplinary actions, suspension. And I think it's really interesting. We've talked a little bit about the politics that you've had other head coaches and ADs urging the Big Ten to do something. What are you sensing that is this a lot about nothing, or is this after Jim Harbaugh?
My entire thing with this is that the Big Ten commissioner right now is almost in an impossible spot, because you have to let due process play out. Because you mean to tell me that you completed an entire investigation into something this serious and so detailed in a week? That's one question that I have there. But also, you have to service the other head coaches and athletic directors of the conference too. You have to, but also, are you going to feed into their wants, or are you going to let the process play out? And the question to me is, can you have that all figured out in a week?
Yeah,
that's a big thing to me. But you mentioned punishment too. This could be anything. They could have the report come out later on today from the Big Ten to say, oh, well, nothing yet. And we could just have another wrinkle to this story. Or they could come out and say, all right, you're suspended the last 3 games of the regular season, but you can come back for the Big Ten championship game or the Big Ten champion and the college football playoff. How does that all factor into it too? Because this is just the Big Ten stance, not the NCAA stance, because that's a whole new realm of possibility.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. How does this impact Michigan's season at all? I mean, it feels like that Jim Harbaugh is very much blinders. When he goes, he's just his head down. He answers what he wants to answer, and he just moves forward.
And the team has said that all along, too, throughout this entire process. It happened, the most of it came out around the bye week, and then they played the game last week that they had against Purdue, and everybody was saying the right things. No, we're just focused on Purdue. But right now, this is crunch time for this team. The entire stretch of their future hinges on the next 3 games and the Big Ten championship if they do beat Ohio State and take care of business. But this game against Penn State, I have a hard time believing that the Big Ten will issue some sort of punishment or suspension or anything of that nature while the team is on a plane heading to University Park to take on the Nittany Lions this weekend.
All right, so we're going to continue to watch this. Thanks, Hobie, for trying to make some sense out of things that that just keep changing.
And it changes day by day.